How would you feel if there was a real life Punisher killing all these people that are committing these heinous crimes? And especially the ones that got away with it, right? So imagine you're like George
Ooh.
Zimmerman.
If there
Feel
was a guy going around just murking them,
Yeah, just like Punisher or like the first season of Arrow. Arrow, you failed this city, corruption, all this.
arrows to the chest.
Arrow to the chest, bro. Freaking gunshot to the head.
We live?
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khalil.
I'm Alex.
What's
And
going on,
man,
man?
another week of bullshit, man. I don't know if you saw this Ahmaud Arbery thing.
Yeah. I've been
I don't know
trying
if
not
you
to.
I don't know if you saw that video. It's one of the worst videos you could one of the worst killings
I
I've
didn't
seen in
watch
a
it.
while.
I couldn't watch it. I knew it was going to
It,
get me tight, and I didn't want to be tight when there's nothing I can
bro,
do about it.
it's brutal. It's brutal, man. And it just had me thinking, right? I seen this post the other day on my Facebook, and this dude asked a question about, how would you feel if there was a real life Punisher killing all these people that are committing these heinous crimes, and especially the ones that got away with it, right? So imagine you're like George
Ooh.
Zimmerman,
Oh,
or imagine the people that killed like Eric Garner, like choked him out, like those type of people. How would you
if there was
feel?
a guy going around just murking them,
Yeah, just like Punisher or like the first season of Arrow. Arrow, you failed this city, corruption, all this.
arrows to the chest.
Arrow to the chest, bro. Freaking gunshot to the head. Like this thing that bothers me. I feel
I
like
don't know, man.
I don't want to go into this violent retaliation of
Yeah,
things,
I don't know.
but I feel like there's only two ways to really make people change their actions when they haven't changed over time, which is either money or safety. Those are two security. Those are the two biggest things you can have that can change people's actions in the system.
Yeah, but when it comes to money, so you feel like boycotting will be effective because
You
it's
can't
affecting people's
boycott the
money?
you can't boycott the police.
I know, but like I'm talking like let's look back in segregation, the Montgomery bus boycotts. Do you think that was effective because
Yeah, it's
it
because
was
it's
hitting their
different.
monies?
It was different time, and I don't think it was necessarily because it's hitting their money. I just think it was because it made just so many people uncomfortable, and it made the whole world aware of the hypocrisy that was going on in the country. U.S. is going. This is after World War II. U.S. is going everywhere, talking about spreading freedom and democracy, equality, and then dudes are like, "Look at you and look how you treat black people."
So you
You
think
know,
the only reason that they ended, well, not the only reason, but a factor as to why they ended segregation and why the boycotts actually got somewhere was because of the fact that it was bringing attention, it was bringing a negative light to the U.S. on the worldwide stage.
yeah, and I mean, there's other factors too.
Yeah, of course,
You
but
know, but like just I feel over time we were able to see like what's the point of killing these people that are just trying to live? The point of harassing these people that are just trying to live. I feel like over time, that's why the peaceful thing, non-violent protest was so successful. Where you have like these people are just trying to be safe, and then you just hear just being a shadow. After a while, you either become numb to it, or you extend your empathy for that.
right. And so it took a third party to get the U.S. not in part, it took a third party to get the U.S. to really think about the way things look, because we
It,
know things didn't get fixed; it just changed the way that things looked.
yeah, I mean you could say that in part, but I mean like the people that were protesting and applying all that pressure on the government obviously had a big factor on it too.
Yeah. But so now you think we need another third party in the form of this vigilante, probably. I'm not saying you think that, but I don't know what you think. But in the form of this vigilante, this Punisher figure to
As
go
I see,
around
as I see more things keep
murdering people.
happening and happening, and people, they'll even go to trial and they'll just get off. Like how did George Zimmerman get off? How did the Eric Garner one is the killing I always look at, where like five dudes and this dude's choking him out, and which was an illegal chokehold, right?
Right.
Dude saying I can't breathe. He's not posing a threat, and they're just choking him for what? Like, what about these videos of just cops just wailing on dudes that are arrested or in handcuffs, just because the dude might have said something or just because the hell he wants to.
And all the times where they hold you in an uncomfortable position, knowing that you're going to try to put your body back into a comfortable position. When you try to
Yeah.
do that, they say stop resisting. When you're just trying to not have your arm bent backwards. all
It's
that
like,
kind of shit. So
it,
basically, what if the Punisher was black? What if the
Chris,
Punisher was a black man?
honestly, I, I don't even know if it's messed up to say, but at some point, it's just these dudes gotta get taken out, man. Honestly, like that's how I feel. Honestly, like
I
these dudes
wouldn't.
gotta get taken out. I don't want to. I don't want
I
to
understand
justify
that. I understand that
this
completely.
violent retaliation, the eye for eye type thing, but like we can look at this Ahmaud Arbery thing, and specifically that joint happened in February, fam. We're in May. Like that joint happened in February, bro.
Yeah,
3 months later,
yeah,
and these dudes are just now getting attention on it. And the only reason why this happened was because everybody's seen the video now.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So not only can you imagine all the other things that could have happened involved, but it's like, DA, you kind of crooked.
Oh, you
You
saw
probably,
that with the DA, how she was
well,
connected to that McMichael
yeah,
guy.
you connected to the dude that shot him. He's like, oh, don't arrest him. So you can
Yeah.
only imagine how many other cases are like that. And it could
I,
be a drug offense. It could be a planting shit on somebody.
bro.
It could be all those type of things. And it's just like when is enough, and when is this
And you
retaliation
know
gonna
what?
come?
I used to think that, after a certain time, these ideologies are going to die out. As the older generation goes, their
Nah,
views
bro.
and their
This
archaic
shit's ingrained
points
in
of
their.
views
It's
and
ingrained in
perspectives
the
will.
culture, bro. It's not gonna die out
That's
if
the
it's
thing,
ingrained
though.
in the culture.
That's the thing. Now I'm starting to see that. I've been starting to see that more and more. It's like it's not even these old dudes doing this stuff. These young dudes are wilding just as much. And so
Yeah.
now, so it's not going to be this over time solution. It's not going to be a political solution either, because these dudes are still the ones becoming the politicians and the ones in power. It's not us. So there's no political solution.
It doesn't seem like there's a political solution. You can pass as many laws as you want, but the way that's being enforced, it's just clearly not meant for people like us. So now it has to come to a certain point where it's like, yo, when is enough enough?
You seen
Like,
that NRA video? I think I posted it on the podcast page. It was from Rizal Islam or something. It was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw, I saw.
it was an NRA propaganda video. It looked like, with these guys talking about, we will not be docile. It's our right to bear arms, and it's these two white guys. All of a sudden, the black guy shows up, and they're like, "Well, how many guns do you want? Where'd you come from? Where do you live?" And all that stuff that comes with being a black man who wants the same right. And so that's definitely not going to be a political or even a social issue, because when shit like this happens,
Yeah, bro. And this is the thing they
NRA is
always.
very silent.
Yeah, and this is the thing they always say. Oh, he had a gun. He had a gun. He had a gun. Like how many times a white guy has a gun and never gets shot?
Bro.
Like, oh, bro, you see all these people marching on doing protests about the government's response to the pandemic that's going on right now. Right? You
Right.
see all these people marching on state capitals with guns, bro. I seen the
With
video
guns,
of these
bro.
dudes. These dudes going into freaking. I'm gonna make sure this is in the video. These dudes going around into a subway with a rocket launcher on his back. Like
Whoa,
for
wait,
what?
what?
For what? It was like 10 of them. All of them are armed. One of them has a rocket launcher on his
Wait,
back.
wait.
I'm like, what's?
Civilians can get rocket launchers in this country?
I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't like. Son. I don't know. But you see this type of reaction, and it's like, yo, like what is going on here, bro? And you look back, you'll see the reason why, like they had a lot of these gun laws were targeted at blacks because they didn't want the Black Panthers having so much
Yeah,
influence
yeah,
with
yeah.
with their weapons.
Right.
And I remember we had this discussion about like if we should have guns, and I don't know. I want to go down that road, like where it's like, I would prefer not to have a gun, but at the same
But we're
time, like,
not.
but we live, we the issue
But what
isn't
we're
as
talking about right now
prevalent here.
is, if there was this vigilante who was black and who had the same ideologies as the Punisher,
Yeah,
would we be mad at that? And I think that we have the environment in which this person could exist. Like, no cap.
for sure.
Like,
And I would probably be supporting that dude, honestly.
this guy would have had a hell of an origin story, right? Like, in real life, like for
Oh yeah,
real.
no, for sure, for
So
sure.
the fact that the conditions exist that would make his existence understandable probably means he should exist.
Oh yeah,
And as much as I hate advocating for the deaths of other people, I'm not advocating for that, but I would understand at least if this guy got so fed up,
but
so frustrated that he decided to take matters, because look what these guys did. The McMichaels, what did they do? They took matters into their own hands. And what did the DA do? Oh, they're nice guys. They were just doing what they thought was best for their community. Let them go. Don't arrest them. Why can't we do that?
And here's the thing, and a lot of that goes back to it's just a power thing. Honestly, it just goes back to like it goes really far back, to things like the Fugitive Slave Act, where it's just putting the control, like white people having the control of like, oh yeah, we can arrest, make citizens arrest type thing.
Yeah, you can deputize anybody on the street
Yeah,
and make sure that they can catch slaves.
it just goes back. Yeah, and they're still doing. I don't even know why citizens arrest is even possible right now. Like I really don't know why.
I think it's only possible in certain parts of the country. I don't think it will fly in Boston, to be honest with you.
But look at you'll be surprised, man. You'll
I
be
don't know.
surprised. You'll be surprised, man. People were saying this, like for example, people were saying, "Oh, those protests, all these people are stupid. Or all these protests about the virus is happening in other places of the country. That don't happen here too. So you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
The protests I can understand, but I'm talking about citizens' arrests.
I mean, I'm not putting anything past anybody in this country at this point, bro.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not putting anything past anybody.
Very fair. Very, very fair.
The time it took the DA is what like I really look at, right? You could disregard the personal connection. Nothing happened until everyone saw the video, right? They probably saw the video, but nothing happened until everybody saw the video. Bro.
From what I heard, the video came out because, or
yeah,
maybe there was an extra video.
It would get them off.
Right, because the third dude, the guy recording, thought that it would exonerate him because he was saying, look, I didn't shoot the guy. I just recorded it. And so that's how the video got out, because he thought it would be a good look. And now look what happened.
Yeah, and I mean,
crazy to me.
And you can talk about the individuals behind this, and yes, we should. I mean, if the Punisher, I would obviously want him to get those people, obviously. Like
the ones recording?
Huh?
The ones recording?
I mean, all the dudes that were involved in the murder.
Yeah.
But if it can go to court first, right? If it can go to court first on bias and whatever, but if this dude gets off on some technicality, then I want that dude to take him out.
I can understand that.
Like, I want that dude to take him out. Because, like,
bro,
you're talking about
predicated with an exoneration, even though he's clearly guilty.
Yeah, bro.
I can understand a little bit more.
Like, you have video of the thing happening, and then if he gets out on court off a technicality or whatever, talking about a stand your ground type law or whatever it is, then take this dude out, bro. The same thing with Joe Zimmerman too. Like, police tell him not to follow this dude. You're following somebody, stalking them at night, and then you start an altercation. Then you can talk about you can stand your ground. How's that work?
Right.
How's that work? So now this dude gets to live his life, blah blah blah, while Trayvon's dead. You got these ridiculous laws that can allow you to start a fight. You can stalk somebody, start a fight.
Well, only if you're not black, though. Yeah, because in that same state, a black woman fired her gun at an abusive husband or domestic partner, and she got thrown in jail for I don't know how many years because she fired a gun at him because he was threatening her life.
Yeah, I mean,
she was standing her ground then.
You could say it sounds fucked up, bro. But I think it's time for some type of retaliation, man. Bro, I'm really sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it. I think it's time for some retaliation, bro. These marches are doing nothing, fam. What are these marches doing?
It's not.
These marches, like, it's not an effective form of protest anymore. Maybe 50 years ago it was an effective form of protest. It's not effective anymore.
We wouldn't call him a hero, but I would get why
he would be a community hero, bro.
I mean, I would hesitate to call him a hero.
He would be a community hero.
I would hesitate. I would hesitate to call him a hero.
You can say he's an anti-hero or whatever, but he would be a community hero, bro. In the black community specifically, he would be a community hero. I promise you that. I can
understand that.
I promise you that.
I won't correct anyone who says he's their hero, but I just wouldn't refer to him as that because, like, I watched Daredevil, right? In season 2, I think was when the Punisher showed up. Yeah. I was on the side of you shouldn't go around killing people that you think should die because it's people that he thinks should die.
Which is fair, but I completely understand, bro. But when these people,
but that's why I want to tread lightly with this thing because because he's doing it, for the benefit of my people, now doesn't mean I should just turn and be like, all right, now you're good, you can do that, but just don't do it on this side.
And there's power creep and things you gotta worry about giving this much power to an individual, blah, and like letting it fly. I completely understand that.
What happens when there's a white Punisher, the usual Punisher, and now he's just going around killing everyone that white people thought could be a robber? He will be a community hero to them.
Well, that's not even comparable, man. Don't do that.
No, I know. It is not. It's really not. It sounds as stupid as killing Ahmaud for jogging, but he would be a community hero to the white people.
I don't think anybody sees those dudes. I'll be shocked if anybody saw those dudes as heroes, except for, like, really deep entrenched racist people. Like,
bro, I don't know who posted this. I don't know if it's real either, right? Correct me if I am wrong, please. But I saw this picture of this Facebook group that popped up the day that these McMichaels dude who killed Ahmaud got arrested. It was like a Christian Facebook group that says, please come together and pray for the McMichaels who were just trying to defend the community because they've been treated horribly after this incident. 10,000 members or so.
Yeah, I did see that
Crazy.
too. I want your lightly on that because I saw something that says they've been changing their group name a lot. So I'm just gonna tread lightly on that
Right.
one.
I want to know. I want
So
to confirm if it's true or not. But
yeah,
if it's true and that could happen, then I can see how white people will then create their own Punisher, come at us.
nah,
I mean,
it's
not.
just
I want to
I
say
mean,
they were going to create. I mean, the police department is going to do a white people Punisher already, but now they'd just be more justified, wouldn't
bro,
they?
there's no justification of like murdering robbers just because like a burglar, bro. That's like
It's not. It's
it's a petty
stupid, bro.
crime.
It's
Like that,
literally stupid.
like armed robbery is different, but you're talking about like burglary and yeah, it's breaking and entering, so it's a little more gray. But in non-violent crimes that don't harm anybody, like it's not an armed robbery.
They're
You're talking about
already
you're talking
doing
about a
it, bro.
theft.
But they're already doing it.
Nah, bro.
That's why
You're
I'm
not.
saying it won't take
And the
much.
thing is,
But just take it a step
they'll
further.
have no like. I don't think they'll have any majority support in that situation. Like if I go up to a white
Oh
dude,
man,
if I go up to a white person, bro, and be like, oh, would you be mad if these dudes got killed, or would you understand why somebody took them out? They'll be like, yeah, they'll be like, yeah, and then you go
ideally,
up, yeah, of course, yeah,
ideally,
yeah. If you go up to another one and the dude's like, oh yeah, we just took matters into our own hands and killed this dude that we heard was burglarizing neighborhoods. We didn't catch him in the act, but we just murked him. That's not gonna fly, bro. That's just not gonna fly. You have even if
you
it
have a
does
lot of
fly,
trust in people,
you just have so much less of a leg to stand on.
bro. The DA just said don't arrest these dudes even after she knew what happened.
How much of that was her personal connection to him? That's the one thing I'm thinking about. You often hear like cops are the biggest gangs in America because they always got each other's back, no
They
matter what.
are, bro.
No
Even
matter
they
how
say it.
no matter how wrong they are, or like no matter what you'll see, there'll be the other cop just watching there, sitting there, and won't do nothing.
Facts. They
Or
will call for backup to help the other cop beat this other guy's ass for no
no
reason.
justification. So it's like if
But
dudes
that's
start taking these people out, I mean, it's not gonna fix the systemic problem of, you know, oh, one guy goes, another one keeps popping up. But what it probably will fix is like now these people will be like, I'm gonna be a lot less, I'm gonna be a lot more hesitant about like wailing on dudes. I'm gonna be a lot more hesitant about just shooting a random dude because I felt like it, or I feel my life was in danger. It's like shooting people that's running away from you. You know what I'm saying?
ideally.
They'll be son. If you see
This is
like
this is in a perfect world, bro.
all the yeah, but if you're in this hypothetical situation where this dude exists, if you see all these people getting murked that are doing things that you do yourself, you're gonna stop doing that shit, bro. You're gonna stop doing that shit.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What I'm thinking about and what I'm worried about is that this could just start a race war. We start murdering people that we think should die, and now
Which
these police officers are like, you know what? You know, you have this guy in your community who's killing all of my
yeah,
brothers and sisters, right?
no,
For whatever they think is the right reason. Why can't I do the same? I already do, but now I'm more justified in abusing you because I don't know who you are, I don't know who you're connected to, and you could very well turn around and just shoot me, which is what they already say. But now they just have more reason to put the shit on random innocent people.
and this is why it can't be done by the whole community though. This is why it has to be an
But the
individual.
whole
Or
community is gonna get punished, bro. You know what happens when there's a bolo out for a black man? The whole community feels it, bro.
I hear what you're saying, but and it's why like you can never. And the reason why I'm hesitant to especially take violent retaliation against anybody, especially the police. You're not winning a war with the police.
Nah,
You
no.
just it's just not possible. It's just
Calling the
not
Coast
possible.
Guard, put the
Yeah.
city on
Like
lockdown.
even before that, they're just calling all the cops. They'll be quick to shoot. You're just not gonna win that battle. But if there's an individual that's doing that, or maybe like a group of individuals that's doing that, I think it will change a lot of police action.
And you know what? I'm thinking about this, and this is probably what they were trying to avoid with the Black Panthers, where they enacted gun laws after Black people started acquiring
Oh,
guns.
it probably is, because you couldn't.
And so this could be a pretty effective way of saying we will not be docile, which is what all the white people say when it comes to gun control and making sure crazy people don't get guns. They say no, you can't take out shit. All we got to do is say the same thing now.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I think about it, like if black people should really go towards like more
I
gun
think so.
ownership.
Oh, but that's
You know?
I want to make that a different topic though.
Yeah. But
Right now, I want to focus on this Punisher guy. And should he, if he did exist, should he be allowed to continue by us? Should we enable him?
I
I
don't
don't
see
think.
how we wouldn't. Like honestly, I don't see, especially with like even if you're not thinking emotionally,
Yeah,
even if you take the emotion out of it, if you just look at everything that's going on over time, there's gonna be a time where it's like we have to do a different course of action. And even if that resorts to violence, I think a lot of people come to that conclusion where it's just enough is enough. The things we're doing now aren't working. We're trying to get into our own community. I remember like you mentioned this in an episode before where we talked about this, where it's like, oh, the black and brown people, the minorities have to get into their own police departments and change it
right.
for themselves. But how
That's gonna
long
take a
will
lot of
that
time.
take? And how long will that take? And how many more lives can you afford to lose over nonsense?
And so now we're gonna make change under threat of death. Treat us like humans, or else,
Right,
bam, bam.
the two biggest things that will force anybody or any system to change is money or security. It's the two biggest things.
I want to be for it. No, I really
You
do.
can't affect
I
police
really
money.
do.
You just can't. You can't affect police money. There's no way to affect police money.
There isn't.
Like there's no way. It's a state. They're paid by the state or the county or the federal government. Like you can't
It can't
affect
be
that.
that simple though. How could one man? How much difference could that one man make? If someone don't do this, if anyone's listening, do not do
Oh,
this.
this is a hypothetical situation, of course.
If we woke up and someone murdered George Zimmerman after
Yeah.
all these years, please do not go murder George Zimmerman. If we woke up and someone murdered George Zimmerman after all these years, I highly doubt that black was like, oh man, really? What? Come on. Him? I'm pretty sure the consensus would be, all right,
Because
who's next?
it'll be about
Right?
damn time. That's what it would
Right?
be. That's what a
About
lot of
time,
people be
who's
saying. It's
next?
about time.
But the thing that I don't like about this, right? And this is something I wanted to say in another episode, right? But it's been this way for a while. In 2020, 2019, 2018, it's been this way for a couple of years, but there's no such thing as just an individual action anymore. If you take an action, you better be damn well ready to start a movement, right? Because think about this. All the times where people got fired because of their old tweets, what was one of the first responses that the general public would make? You fired this dude, but what about this guy? It can't just be about this one individual action to this one individual person. It has to be a sweeping thing once you make this one step. And so, what I'm worried about is if we start, right, if George Zimmerman goes, do not kill George Zimmerman. If George Zimmerman goes, I'm afraid that the next big question is going to be, all right, who's next? And who's going to decide that? The public? The guy?
No, but this dude has a lot of he has a lot of discretion at it. Like it's gonna be all his discretion, honestly. But I think
Which is
I
dangerous.
it's extremely dangerous. But I think there's a lot of obvious ones you can go for. There's a lot of obvious ones you can go for.
To us, to me and you probably.
Bro, we saw a dude get choked out by a police officer saying he can't breathe.
Yes, yeah, those are the
Like
obvious ones
I
to
feel
us,
like I
that,
feel like those
to
are the
most
ones
people.
that those are the ones you go after first.
And so now what happens when,
And then
oh my
next you see
gosh,
like if you see like a video, it is a slippery slope. Don't get it twisted. But I saw a video recently, and I'll make sure we post this on our Instagram page of this dude getting arrested. And I don't know if he said something to the cop, but he's arrested. He's detained, right? He's
handcuffed.
handcuffed, standing up, his back is facing the cop. I don't know if he said something. The cop just starts assaulting him, like
I think I saw
freaking
that.
haymakers, man.
Yeah, I think
Haymakers
I
to the
saw that.
back of the head.
Can't defend himself.
Haymakers,
He's handcuffed.
uppercut. The female cop behind just watching,
Oh, I saw that one.
which is why this whole good cop thing, I'm really not buying.
Nope.
You know,
Bullshit.
you could have personal good experiences with cops, which is cool. But the notion that they're a good cop, I mean, how like there comes a point where being complicit
Yeah.
makes you part of the problem.
If a Nazi
Right?
baked you a cake, is that a good person?
Yeah, like it's just like I've had fine interactions with police before, right? I've also had terrible interactions with police before,
Yeah.
and it comes to a point where you're talking about police as a system. This whole good cop thing that's going to save you is just not a reality. It's not a reality. I don't think I've seen one video of a police officer stop another police officer from assaulting somebody ever in my life. I don't think I've seen one. Not one. I haven't even had a story about it. Like, oh yeah, my guy was tweaking out, so I just stopped him. I stopped him real quick. Never once in my life, ever.
I've seen, I don't know if they're still around, but there was a faction of the police department that was against the Blue Lives Matter movement, right? It was a group of black police officers who was actually against all the incidents of police brutality that was going on. They were in New York.
Yeah,
I had his Instagram page. If I find it, I'm going to link it. Really good guy. But after a while, the support started dwindling. I don't know if they're still around. I have to double check on that. But those are the only instances that I can think of where cops actually stood up to other cops in public,
mm.
personally. But what I wanted to touch on was what I said about like, there's no such thing as an action without a movement anymore. Now, what happens when he gets done with all these obvious choices, all the people who choked out Eric Garner and George Zimmerman and the McMichaels and whoever we think is obvious. And now, you know, black people are saying, yo, you go after George Zimmerman, but this other cop in Suffolk County in this state, yada, 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 just held up my brother, shot him for no reason. It didn't even make the news. What are you going to do? You got love for us too? Or we just not, we don't have enough exposure for you to care for us, right? And I was, what I'm afraid of is now the black community is going to be split because of this, because this happens a lot. We turn on each other a lot, which is a damn shame. That's going to be a different topic, a different episode. But what happens now when he doesn't get to the people that a lot of people thinks that he should get to, because
Yeah, but
he himself doesn't really think that this is the right decision right now.
I mean, how fair is that? I mean, it's not gonna be fair. But I mean, you can never have a group of people unified against one thing forever, though. There's gonna be some discrepancies. There's gonna be some places where you just don't where you disagree naturally, right? I think after you take out there is that slippery slope argument. I think what will actually happen in that situation is you probably will get some copycats, right? I think that's what's gonna happen in that community where you will get copycats. Where this dude's like, oh, he didn't do stuff that we saw was unjust. So now we gotta take it. Like we gotta have one of our own over it. I think
Now
that's something.
we got the black McMichaels.
Yeah, so that's something you
I
have
don't
to
know about that,
fear. I
man.
mean, I get,
I don't know about that, man.
bro. All I'm saying is we can't do this no more. And I know it's a very slippery slope. I'm not, but there has to be something. There has to be something else. There has to be another way. Like there has to be another way, bro. I don't know what the other way is, but this can't continue, bro. It's been going on for so long. It's
It
been going
can't
on
be
for
the money,
so.
right?
It's been going on for so long.
Like you said,
and and the only way you make people change is money or security. Like it's
and
the
we
only way you
can't
can make a
affect the
system
money.
change. Any system, like I don't know, any system that just changed over time. Like you even look at things like Me Too, right? A lot of the reason why Me Too was so effective, right? I mean, obviously you have the emotional plea of women getting harassed at work and stuff, but then you get a bunch of lawsuits on your hands, right? You get lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, and now the company's losing all this money, and now we're forced to change our workplace environment.
True,
You know,
true, true,
so it's
true.
like you have all these lawsuits on your hand, and we can sue the police departments, but when you sue the police departments, it comes out of taxpayer money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like yeah, we're suing the police department for doing wrong, but I got paid for the mistake the police made in the first place.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying money is not really an effective way to attack the
Our
system that's going
particular
on.
problem. Our
And you could
particular
talk
problem.
about like voting or whatever, but I just like how long have we been doing that?
Not that long. Are we even doing that at all?
I mean, maybe that's a separate issue. Maybe that's part of the problem is that we're not voting. We're not getting these DAs out of there. We're not getting these elected officials that in the court system
Like the
in
low
there.
level ones, not just
Yeah, like
don't just vote for the president, but the low level ones, the
yeah, like
governors, the DAs.
like local judges and all
I
those
didn't even
type
know
of
you could
things.
vote for DAs until recently.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people don't.
That's how bad it is.
They keep these things low key on purpose, man, because that way it's easier to keep the people are in power and keep the same system that's in check. So if if you're getting your local judges in there and all those type of people, that will probably help. But to what extent, though? You're still going to have all these problems. You're still going against all these forces. And changing systems like that over time from the inside takes a very long period of time.
Yeah.
A very long period of time. And
And
it's
it's
just
gonna
how much more life are you willing to sacrifice before you do something about it?
yeah.
That's the issue I have. Right? Think about like when we have kids, like how much more like are you gonna be willing to sacrifice their life? You're gonna be willing, oh, we gotta have this talk about how you interact with police. Like how much longer do you want that to continue? How many generations do you want that to continue for? Like, how many more? Because there has to be a point where like, yo, enough's enough. And obviously we can't go to war with the police. That's not gonna work. But if it comes to targeting certain individuals, I think that's a sentiment that a lot of people have.
No, it is.
And it's a sentiment that like I myself am starting to develop because I'm just tired, bro. Like I don't understand why Joe Zimmerman is alive. And that's why I never respect this whole gangster respect thing we have in our community about the streets or whatever, because you got these bums alive. Y'all killing each
But
other, but
then,
how is like
exactly.
y'all bragging about killing each other, but how are these dudes alive? How are the dudes that are assaulting your moms and your brothers, how are they alive, bro? I don't get that shit.
Right.
That's why I don't get. So I'm tired, bro. And it might be because I'm tired, but I'm not even like I think I got past the point of where I'm like just giving an emotional reaction.
Yeah,
So
empathy can only last so long.
it's just there has to be a change. And I really don't see any other change besides, and the change might not be good either. We'll have a lot of backlash, and like you said, police will probably start terrorizing communities even more now.
Yeah, it might get
Right?
a lot worse before
Yeah,
it gets better.
they'll try to strong arm us now. Like, oh, if you don't give this dude up, I know you know where he is, or to start falsifying charges,
Facts.
whatever. So they probably will
Like,
strong arm us, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not a thing you can do sustainably over. It's just not sustainable over time.
right. And it's not even like, if this dude did it and he gets caught, now another dude's gonna do it. Because now what's gonna happen? We're gonna all be seen as a threat. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
no,
we already are, mind
yeah,
you, we already are. But now we might not get like the benefit of like handcuffs.
man. And I mean, it's a problem that we're already seeing as a threat before things even start. Like you're talking about, oh, what this dude did or what he might have done. I'm like, bro, you just saw it doesn't matter. Like, bro, it doesn't matter what he's done, right? You don't got an excuse to just kill a man in broad daylight,
Oh,
especially a
facts.
man that's running away from you. Like, there should never be an excuse. No other police systems around the world in developed countries allow that joint, bro. You look at police killings over over several different countries, right? UK, Canada, France, Germany. Not even close to where we are.
No.
Not even close to where we are. And it goes past police killings. We talked about police killings before, but it goes past to everything in the system. The DA, the judge, the prosecutors, all these type of people that are in the system, and nothing's changing, bro. It's changing too slow. It's just how many more lives are you willing to lose?
Innocent lives, man.
Yeah, innocent lives. People mind their own business, and you
I
can say,
can't.
"Oh, it was a citizen that killed Ahmaud," for example. But you got plenty of more examples of citizens killed by police. And then not only that, the problem with the Ahmaud Arbery joint is you have the people in power, the people that are supposed to enforce laws, that are supposed to carry out justice, are sitting on their ass. They're like, "Oh, I know this guy. I'm
Taking.
not gonna charge him." Like,
That's
what's that
ridiculous,
about,
bro.
man? What's that? Like, you got clear murder. I mean, obviously you want to look out for your boys or whatever, but now it comes to a certain point where it's like, nah, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Do you think anything's gonna happen to her?
She might get fired. I mean, there'll be backlash for her to get fired. There'll be backlash for I know a lot of the department to get fired. There's probably gonna be a there's probably going to be a reach to get the federal government involved, Department of Justice or things like that, to have a non partial, non biased person governing body investigating everything that happened just for this specific case. But will she get fired? I don't know. I won't be surprised. I
Right.
honestly doubt she'll get fired because I mean,
I don't think
how
anything's
many
gonna
more
happen to her, to
people
be honest with
apply
you.
to that code in that environment? How many more people apply to that code where it's like you have that blue wall of silence where it's like we're not going to say anything. No matter if we see it's wrong, we'll correct it internally, or
Yeah, sure. Sure,
we'll
sure,
correct
sure.
it some other way. So it's just I'm just tired, bro, and I'm tired of being tired. Like some joint got to change. I feel like the social media is good for bringing awareness,
But
and
not for change.
causing people to see what's going on, and that might help individual cases like this one with Ahmaud right now. And
Shout out to
it's
Sean
great.
King.
It's great to see, yeah, Sean King and Merritt Lee and all these David Banners, all these other people in our community that are doing a really great job of bringing light to this. But and it's great to see other people like of other races unite behind this too, whether it's white people or Asian people or Spanish people, whatever. It's great to see them unite behind this, but it comes to a point. It's like it's just so much deeper than just this one instance, and this one instance is a reflection of everything that's going on.
And we almost didn't even see it.
We almost didn't see it happen. It happened 3 months ago.
Bro,
It happened
imagine.
3 months ago. That's
I'm
that's
just
the
thinking about all
craziest
the other
part.
shit that could have happened that was not recorded.
Oh yeah, just imagine to times where like we
Didn't
weren't
get to
alive.
court.
Imagine times like in the 70s or 80s where camera phones aren't alive right then, right? You think segregation ended, everything was just kumbaya now? Like you know what I'm saying? So these things, even if they have gotten better, they haven't gotten better fast enough. So something's got to change, and that's why
Yeah.
I'm saying a black Punisher or black Batman type vigilante. Maybe if he operates in the realm of Batman, it might be better. But the thing about him,
No, because
the thing
Batman just gets
operate,
into the police.
yeah, and that's that's the problem. Like, oh, he breaks some legs, and oh, he makes them confess, whatever. But these dudes still find ways to get dudes passed in trial. Like,
Right.
oh, you're acquitted now. You're not guilty. Like, I don't get it.
Well, they get to jail and you're gonna be separated from, the black population because if these guys go to prison, bro,
Yeah.
and they get mixed in with the black prisoners, bro.
No, no, yeah, that's facts. Their life would be hell, and this is where we just have to look at like we have to look at ourselves and be like, what's the solution here? We can vote and we can try to make as much change as possible. But what happens if everyone votes and you still lose?
Bring the
You
Black
know,
Panthers back.
uh, maybe that's the best option. I know the Black Panthers operate a lot. They operate a lot off intimidation. You know, having
No,
have
because I mean that
yeah, you
works.
see, yeah, it does work. So maybe if we operate on an instance of everyone, everyone has guns now. Everyone is able to protect themselves from at least other citizens.
Right.
At least now you have a chance. Like if you shoot a cop, you're always gonna go to jail. So like you can't take it out against the cops. That's where
Well,
it goes, bro. There's no way you
if you're
shoot a
white.
cop. Whole different scenario. We're
Oh,
talking about
okay,
the
okay, okay,
reality of the
okay.
situation. If you're black, if you shoot a cop, bro, there's
Yeah,
no
no,
way you're
you're
not
not.
going to jail. It
You're not
doesn't
even
matter. It
going to
doesn't
jail.
matter. It doesn't
You're
matter
not. You're
what
not
the
going to jail. You're
yeah.
not
It
going to make it.
doesn't matter what the circumstances. You're not getting away with that.
I
The
don't think
dude
you're going
can.
to make it to the station. You're just not going to make it, bro.
So even arming ourselves only really protects us against other citizens.
And when it comes to the cops situation, it's not really going to change much because they already think we're dangerous. They already think
Yeah,
we're
I mean, oh,
going
he
to
has a
lash
gun.
out or
That's the
whatever.
first. That's the first thing. I hate that narrative. Oh, he has a gun. He's automatically dangerous. Don't you have a right
Well,
to bear arms? Like it's
right.
automatically dangerous if a black guy has a gun. But you can have all these dudes on the state capitals or freaking going to subways or rocket launchers,
ARs,
and that's
rocket
cool, bro.
launchers. What the hell? No arrests were made, I'm guessing.
I
Did
mean,
they bring out the riot gear and the tear gas?
no, man. You can even see with the enforcement of the social distancing how it's different, man. You got
Oh,
one.
facts.
You got one part of the city or one park. Because parks are usually open. You just have to maintain your distance. We have packed parks. And they're like, oh, here's a mask, here's a mask, here's a
Yep,
mask.
handing it
And
out.
other parts of the city, the dudes just run up on people and it's being a shot. You know, like there has to be a point where it's like we gotta do something.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
I saw a Bill Maher piece, and he was like, I'm surprised that there hasn't been more violent retaliation from black people.
We've
And
been
he
taught
says
not
he
to.
says he says I'm surprised. I mean, yeah, and then you can say we've been taught not to. Look how far it's got us.
Exactly.
But then
I think we were taught some of the wrong things.
I think we reached the peak of that of this strategy. Like this is how
Because
far
even
this
Martin
strategy
Luther
will take
King
us.
was getting done with all this peace like nonsense. Like
Yeah.
towards the end of his life, he was starting to like sound more like Malcolm X. Like we can't just sit back and turn the other cheek, like Jesus said. Like it's not working, bro.
No, I mean, yeah, Jesus is immortal. He's like, like I don't know, shit. Like I'm not immortal, and I'm gonna die. Like we're all gonna die. I just rather not have my death be cut prematurely by some nonsense. Like all these killings are nonsense, bro. Whether regardless of things, like you can look at Philando Castile. The dude said, "I'm taking on my license. I just want you to know I have a gun." Dude shoot some freaking three
In
feet
front of
away, and then
his
his wife
4-year-old
got to remain
daughter,
calm in the back.
trying to calm down his 4-year-old daughter
Yeah,
in the back
it's
so that she
crazy.
doesn't get shot too, right?
It's craziness, man. It's
Bro.
it's absolute craziness. It's like there has to be a point where if the justice system is not gonna make like who's gonna hold these people accountable? If the justice system's not gonna do that,
Now
if
to
we
be
have
us,
like we all have eyes, but we can clearly see what's going on. So if they're not gonna hold them accountable, who's gonna hold them accountable?
it's gonna have
If
to
there's
be
no
us.
yeah, if there's no accountability, then no action is ever gonna change.
If they don't care about us, we gotta make sure that we can control something they do care about, like you said, money and security.
Yeah, so it's hard to affect, federal government money, state government money, town government money, but as dangerous as it may sound, and it's very dangerous. We broke down why it would be dangerous, why it probably won't be effective.
Right.
But if you're talking about the psychological standpoint of it,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be on that boat
I said the same
Stay.
thing back when I was talking about it wasn't a DC sniper. It was another sniper. I think it was in Atlanta or something. He opened fire into a police parade. He killed like 7 of them. And I said like, so what? Now you know how it feels. Like I didn't really feel much at that point.
Yeah.
And that was after I forgot what the case was, but I think that was after Eric Garner.
Hmm.
I think that was right after Eric Garner that happened. And at that point I was like, you know what? I felt like you felt right now. Like I'm at a certain point where I don't feel like being an empath and being, you know, considerate and this and that is what we need to do. Is what we need to be right now. I feel like we need to just look out for our own, do what we need to do to survive, really, because innocent people are getting killed for no reason. So anything we do at this point would be justified.
Yeah, it just goes like
Put that out there.
when do people become your enemies? You know, like when is it an enemy type thing? Because
I'm gonna put that out there, bro.
it seems like we're their enemies, man.
It wouldn't be
Honestly,
right. Anything, not everything we do would be right, but I would understand that shit.
yeah.
I'd get it.
I'll completely understand that. And if you look, yeah, if you look at the psychology behind it, I understand it. And you could like even say like I'm close to supporting that joint, like
Yeah,
really,
that dude should go to
because
jail. You should definitely go to jail for a long time, but I get why he
yeah,
did it.
yeah.
But now,
I
what
mean,
about what if the white people are now saying that about the McMichaels? Like they should go to jail, but I get why they did it. They're just trying to protect the community.
I think I don't think they look at it from that point. I think they look at it from the perspective where these people just murdered somebody in broad daylight,
Do you
and
think that's
people
what they see, bro?
no, but if you're not looking at it from like a majority type thing, it's like these people just kill somebody. So yeah, people got their revenge. I think that's what they would look at it as. It wouldn't be a type of thing of like this whole systemic problem. They would just look at it as a case of revenge.
But I'm talking. Wait, what scenario are you talking about?
The one with the Ahmaud Arbery joint. Like if we killed him, if somebody from our community killed him, I think they would look at that more as a case of revenge.
Right, but
It's
I'm
more of
talking
a
about.
narrative for a police interaction or global thing going on.
But I'm asking if you think white people see the Amont case the same way that we do. Do you think that they see it as someone who killed an innocent person in broad daylight, or do they see it as two men trying to defend the community and take matters into their own hands, which is what we're advocating for right now?
Uh, I'll go with the former. Honestly, I'll go with that first part.
You think the
Like,
majority of white people will see the same
yeah,
way we see it?
yeah. I think a lot of them do. And seeing some of the responses online has encouraged me because for the most part, you know, I've seen everybody condemn it, and maybe that's my personal bubble, but I've seen viral posts of people condemning it. So I think
But you know what?
there's always going to be a faction of them, maybe even like 20-30% of them would be like, oh, he was safeguarding that community. That's what they need to do. But I think the majority of them, at least I want to believe, maybe I'm wrong, but at least I want to believe, from what I've seen online, on social media, in the news, I've seen most people condemn what happened.
I'm gonna need them to do a little bit more than just condemn them.
No, yeah,
You could talk about all you want. I don't really care at this point. If you're not doing
yeah,
anything about it, I really don't care about what you got to say.
yeah.
To be honest
I,
with you.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people like doing their runs for Ahmad, like
Yeah.
223. I think that was the day he died. We run like 2.23 miles. You know, they're doing things like that. So I mean, if you're gonna be active in that community, or at least show like a demonstration of unity or solidarity,
Right.
then yeah, we can. That's some progress to go off on. But until there's enough backlash, like why is there so much division between if you should if this is okay or not, or if we should care about this or not? You know, why is there so much division about that? Why is there so much willingness to sit on the sidelines about some shit that you see is clearly wrong? You know, that's the problem I have. Like you sit on the sidelines when you have the power, and I don't know, like it's not like it's gonna endanger you or yourself if you be like, nah, this is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. Like
I
you're
mean,
not
at first it might.
I mean, you might lose some relationships with some people, but who are the people you losing relationships with? It's probably people that honestly shouldn't be around.
Right, but it's probably people that you already respect.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it could be. Honestly, it could be. But if that's the capital you're gonna lose, right?
I think it's
Look,
worth it.
yeah. Like, is it not worth it? Right? And then you're probably not the only one that thinks like that. So I'm sure you have at least some people in your circle that have the same viewpoint as you, where it's like we shouldn't be doing this type of thing. That's
Hmm.
where I need more people to be active. But you say that, I feel like a lot of people just feel like a social media post is good, and it's just never enough, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the awareness is cool, and I don't want people to stop doing it. The awareness really helps out in cases like this. But if you look at a whole problem,
Right.
It's either something that needs to be brought awareness much more often, or you need to get people to vote, or you need
Right.
to get
Because
people
that DA
to,
didn't end up in office by herself.
yeah, and you just need to get people to, like, anytime you see these things happen, there needs to be a call for accountability. And that's not just the murderers. The murderers of this specific case were just citizens, right? But my issue lies with the DA that saw this on and sent on it for 3 months until there was some backlash online about it. Right? That's where my grief is. That's where my grievance is. But man, I mean that's all I gotta say about this. I mean we could go on this. We could probably go on this for hours, honestly. But
I mean,
I
I
think
would, but I just get I'm getting more
yeah,
and more frustrated as we go on.
yeah, because I mean you look at all the problems that happen. So I think people would support. Uh, I think a lot of people would support like a Black Punisher type dude, a Black Arrow type character where he's going around, especially when they get acquitted, man. Especially when they get acquitted.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, it's time. It's time. Like we gotta make them feel the pain that we're in, or we gotta get back. Eye for an eye is always a dangerous game. Eye for eye leaves the world blind, but turn the other cheek ain't doing much for us right now.
Right. And we've been losing plenty of eyes. So, I mean, we have a lot to lose, but at this point, something has to be done, right?
Yeah. But yeah,
But
man.
anyways, let us know what you guys think, man. If you would support a Black Punisher, whether you yourself are Black or not, I want to know why. And if you wouldn't, I really want to know why as well, just for the discussion, right? Because I'm on the edge. I'm leaning more towards supporting him because of all this bullshit. But I would understand why people will be apprehensive about it, right? Like we said, we laid it all out, what we can think about. If you wouldn't be for it, I want to know why. Let's talk about it. Like for real. Let's talk about it.
Be a lot of people on the sidelines are awfully quiet. A lot of people on the sidelines are awfully quiet and in silent agreement. But yeah, man, let's know what you think. Opinion Factory Podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. Like the video, share the video, comment.
Subscribe to the channel. Takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Big help.
Subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends if there was a specific part of the episode. And we will see y'all
next week.